You will be creating one Google slide that shows me the kinds of books that you would rather read and the kind of books that you would rather not read, but might be willing to give them a try. So first, you're going to need to log in and get to google.com and log into your Google account and open your Drive by clicking on that waffle. Once you are in your Drive, go to New and Slides. Open up a new slide. I don't know about you, but when I use Google Slides, I prefer to not use this layout. I like to change the layout to blank, and then I am ready to go. So you're going to have one half of your page that has the kinds of books you would rather read, and the other half the rather nots. So you might split it with a line down the middle, something to designate the two halves. And once you have that done, and if you want to increase the size of it, whatever. So once you have that done, then open a new tab and go to our library. So lib.comalisd.org. Find Danville and the catalog tab. Once you are there, think about the kinds of books that you have read that you loved. So like one that comes to mind for me is Out of My Mind. Love that book, all-time favorite. So I'm going to click on the title and I'm going to two-finger click on the image. So I can copy that image and go back to my presentation and plop it down there. Once you have several books, click and drag it to that side. Once you have several books that you have read and you loved, then I want you to tell me about the kinds of books you would rather read. So open a text box and describe the kinds of books that you would rather read. I would rather read books, blah, 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 blah. Fill that up. Let me know. Tell me all about those kinds of books. Then I'd like you to get up and go to the library shelves and shop in the areas, the genres, that you would rather not read. See what you can find. Maybe even go to the library catalog. And like, for example, I have a particular kind of book I'd rather read, but maybe if I chose the topic, like I love cats, and I would rather not read books that are magical or fanciful or scary. I have a tendency to like realistic fiction and historical fiction. So maybe as I'm kind of looking around, maybe I can find a book that I would be willing to read. See, like I love that book. Cute little story about cats finding their home, having babies. Like this one, action adventure. I don't typically go for action adventure. Maybe this one, The Stranger Next Door, would be interesting. So you could click on it and read a little bit about it. A clever cat's heroism helps two 12-year-old boys become friends after their families, one of which is a witness protection program, moved to neighboring houses in Hilltop, Washington. All right, so now, well, that one doesn't sound too bad. That one I might be willing to read. I don't typically read action adventure, but the fact that it's a witness protection program, kind of a little bit more realistic, I might be willing to read it. So if that's the case, then two-finger click it, copy the image, go into that slide, and paste it on the rather not side. You might even get up and go and see that book, flip through the pages to see if it's, something that's going to interest you. Maybe read the summary on the back or read the first page. So here's what your end result might look like. So once you have done some exploring today, your end result might look something like this. You're going to have a side that tells me about the kinds of books that you would rather read. I'd rather read books that are fictional but based on life events that can and do really happen. I especially like when I can read about events that I haven't ever experienced but can learn about them from reading a book. These are my I rather would read kind of books. Where on this side are the ones that after doing some browsing and looking around, I thought, you know what, I could give these a try. Because my rather nots, I would rather not read fictional books full of situations that can't really happen. I don't really like to be scared. I'm willing to try these two books this year. I chose Unwind because I have found a few other dystopian books that I ended up liking, and I chose Revenge of the Witch because I've seen lots of other people or students checking it out and reading it. So once you have yours completed, then I'd like you to come up here where you title it, and I'd like you to title it with the name of your teacher. So if you're in Wong's class, Wong. If you're in Salis, type in Salis. Whatever class period you were in, just the number, and your first name. So that's my first name. Then you're going to come over here and you're going to share it with me and your teacher. So you would find me by typing in zip. My first name is Melissa. You would find Miss Wong by typing in Wong. Her first name is Sherry. Or you would find Miss Salis, and her first name is Rachel. So once you have found the person to share it with, the teachers to share it with, me and your ELA teacher, then click send so I can read about your rathers and rather nots. Happy reading.